Hey there, scary story fanatics. Welcome back to Cleaving Thought from Bone with your host, Sociopath. Tonight, I'm actually at a music festival, but I didn't want to leave you all behind. So, with the help of Lumina G, I have a little something for you all to help you get into the same mood that I am. A little story aptly called The Verdant Bloom. The Pulsar Music Festival was a kaleidoscope of sound and light, a pulsing heart of humanity throbbing beneath the summer sky. Tens of thousands had converged on the sprawling plains of Cedar Creek, drawn by the bass-heavy beats of DJ Solera and the promise of a weekend lost in rhythm. Leah, Maya, and Finn had staked out their spot near the main stage, a battered canvas tent serving as their temporary sanctuary. The air buzzed with electric anticipation, thick with the scent of spilled beer, synthetic smoke, and the faint, earthy sweetness of the newly mown fields. Day one was pure euphoria. The music was a living thing, vibrating through their bones. Maya, ever the free spirit, was a whirlwind of glitter and neon, her laughter echoing above the crowd. Finn, the pragmatic one, kept their water bottles full and their phones charged, a quiet anchor in the beautiful chaos. Liam, lost in the intricate light shows, felt a profound connection to the surging energy of the collective. It started subtly, late on the second afternoon. A strange, almost imperceptible scent began to mingle with the usual festival odors. It was like ozone after a lightning storm, but mixed with something else. Something organic, almost botanical, yet metallic and sharp. Liam first noticed it near the southern border of the festival grounds, where a new, vibrant green mist seemed to hang low over the tall grasses. He dismissed it as special effects, perhaps a new art installation he hadn't heard about. As dusk deepened, a few scattered coughs rippled through the crowd. Nothing unusual in a dusty, open-air environment thick with the scent of marijuana. But then came the scratching. Not just a casual itch, but intense, frantic clawing at the skin, particularly around the neck and face. Liam saw a man near them, his eyes wide and panicked, tearing at his throat as if trying to rip away an invisible collar. His movements grew jerky, spasmodic. "Dude, is he having a seizure?" Finn muttered, his brow furrowed. Before they could react, the man let out a guttural sound. Not a scream, but a wet, rasping cough that ended in a sickening gurgle. He fell to his knees, his hands still clamped around his throat, but now his fingers seemed to be pressing into his flesh, deforming it. Then, the transformations began. It wasn't sudden or dramatic, like a movie monster. It was insidious, a horrifying unspooling of the familiar. The man on the ground began to change. His skin, already blotchy with effort, took on a sickly, iridescent sheen, like oil on water. Veins beneath his skin pulsed with a thick, greenish luminescence. His limbs, once flailing, began to twist and lengthen at unnatural angles, joints popping with wet clicks that somehow cut through the thrum of the distant bass. A low, moist hiss escaped him, and his eyes, once human, widened into black, reflective orbs. People around him screamed, recoiling. The music momentarily seemed to falter, a glitch in the perfect beat. Panic rippled through the sector. More coughs, more frantic scratching. The sweet, metallic scent grew stronger, almost cloying. Liam felt a tickle in his own throat, a dryness that made him swallow repeatedly. He glanced at Maya, whose normally sparkling eyes now held a growing terror. Finn was already pulling at his sleeve. "We need to go, now!" Finn's voice was tight, strained. They pushed through the thickening crowd, a panicked exodus forming, but the source of the fear was spreading faster than any human could run. Lights from the main stage, once vibrant, began to flicker erratically, casting monstrous shadows that danced with the twisting living forms now emerging from the mass of bodies. A woman nearby, her face contorted in agony, began to peel at her own skin, not like scratching, but as if shedding an unwanted layer. Beneath, something slick and dark seemed to writhe. She collapsed, her screams dissolved into a series of wet, clicking sounds. By the time the crowd surged past her, she was a crumpled heap, no longer resembling a person. The path behind them then came littered with husks of what had been human, a horrifying testament to the unseen agent. The festival grounds, once a vibrant tapestry of human joy, became a chaotic, nightmarish landscape. The booming music from the untouched stages seemed to mock the unfolding horror, a jarring soundtrack to the silent, organic apocalypse. Emergency lights flared, but only illuminated the grotesque transformations in sharper detail. Liam saw creatures, once festival-goers, now scuttling on newly formed limbs, their bodies distended, their faces warped into alien visages, their movements disturbing parodies of human gait. They stumbled upon a group of security guards, armed with walkie-talkies that crackled with desperate, unintelligible pleas. One guard, a burly man who had seemed unshakable just hours before, swayed on his feet, his uniform ripping at the seams as something beneath his skin swelled and stretched. His face was a mask of agony, eyes rolling back before he let out a choked cry. His spine seemed to buckle, forcing him into a hunched, unnatural posture. The other guards, horrified, scrambled backward, abandoning their post. He crumpled, a heavy thud, and the last vestiges of the man evaporated into a writhing mass that continued to grow and pulse. They reached the perimeter fence, the metallic and sweet scent now overwhelming, clinging to their clothes and hair. Below, in the verdant fields, an unnaturally bright, almost luminescent vegetation seemed to be thriving, growing at an alarming rate, pulsating with the same green light that now flickered beneath the skin of the affected. It was as if the very flora of the plains was coming alive, absorbing and transforming everything in its path. Finn had always been the logical one, and he began to cough violently. His hands instinctively went over his throat. Liam's blood ran cold. "Finn, no!" Maya cried, tears streaming down her face. Finn's coughs turned into ragged gasps. He dropped the water bottle he was clutching, and his fingers, already twitching, began to lengthen, nails growing thick and chitinous. A low, rasping sound escaped his lips, and his eyes, wide with fear, began to blacken. He stumbled against the fence, his body spasming, trying to fight the inevitable, but the transformation was too swift, too powerful. His skin hardened, roughened, and began to split, revealing a glistening, segmented surface beneath. His form twisted, shrinking and expanding in horrific succession, until he was no longer human, but a hunched, chittering thing that scrambled away into the glowing green mist, lost to them forever. Liam and Maya clung to each other, their bodies shaking, the cold dread piercing through the lingering euphoria of the festival. The air itself seemed alive, humming with the invisible agent. They could hear the sounds now, the wet, clicking movements of the newly formed entities, the distant, muffled screams of those succumbing, and above it all, the relentless, unyielding pulse of DJ Solera's music, a macabre lullaby to the end of their world. They looked out at the churning, shifting landscape, a vibrant green light now consuming the festival grounds, knowing that escape might be impossible, until that same horrifying bloom awaited them. Only one question to them remained. What was in that glowing green marijuana that everybody was smoking? Well, it's all fun and games until someone loses their eye, and their mind, and their general body shape, and basically all semblance of humanity. But I hope you don't lose yourself to boredom this week and stop by again next weekend for more gore galore. And until then, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so I can catch you all again next Saturday. Social media can be very unpredictable, especially regarding horror content. If this content gets removed, all new content will be simultaneously presented on various websites provided in the description to this video. Make sure to follow me in other digital spaces so that you never miss out on the terror. Also, if you like this video, make sure to leave a comment and hit the like button. It helps the channel a lot. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy what's here, consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. Writing is a dream of mine, and it's all of you that make that dream come true.